I want to tell you. I want to tell you a story I've never said out loud, because for a long time I wasn't even sure it was real. Not in the dream sense, nothing supernatural, no ghosts or monsters, just people. People, and the terrifying things a mind can convince you of, or hide from you. I'm still not sure which side of that I'm on, but I know one thing. Whatever happened, it started the night I heard the knock. It was 3:14 a.m. I remember the time exactly, because I checked my phone as soon as I sat up. I thought maybe it was a package or a drunk neighbor, but the knock came again. Soft, slow, 3 taps. Not urgent, not random, purposeful. I live alone. I've lived alone for years. The kind of alone where the silence becomes a second inhabitant. So hearing anything at that hour, let alone someone at the door, immediately put a weight in my chest. I waited, listened. Nothing. Then my phone buzzed. A text message. Unknown number. Are you awake? I stared at it for a long moment. The knocking, the timing, it felt connected. And there was another specific detail that bothered me. The message contained my name. Not my contact name. The name I rarely use online. Please open the door, Daniel. I need to talk to you. My skin went cold. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. A third knock. Same rhythm. Same calmness. I got out of bed, walked quietly to the front door, and looked through the peephole. I whispered, "Who is it?" The person took a step back, and I finally saw him. A man in his late 40s, clean-shaven, wearing a dark jacket. He looked ordinary. Too ordinary. The kind of face your brain doesn't store because it blends with every crowd. But his eyes stuck with me. Not because they were strange, but because they looked heavy, tired, like he hadn't slept in years. "Daniel," he said softly, "I need your help." I didn't open the door. Instead, I asked, "How do you know my name?" He lowered his gaze. "I don't know how much time we have. Please, just let me in." I should have called the police. I should have shouted for neighbors. I should have done anything except what I did, which was unlock the door. I only opened it an inch, the chain still on. The man didn't try to push it. "Who are you?" I asked. His voice shook slightly. "Someone who's trying to save your life." I almost shut the door right there. It sounded like a threat, but something about his expression kept me frozen. He wasn't intense or intimidating. He looked genuinely frightened. "From what?" I asked. He swallowed hard. "From yourself." I backed away, slammed the door shut, and locked it. I heard him say something through the door, something like, "You don't understand yet," and then footsteps walking away. I watched through the peephole until he disappeared. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I called my sister, Hannah. We're close, or at least we used to be. After our mother died, we drifted. Not on purpose. Grief changes people. It changed me more than I wanted to admit. She answered on the 4th ring. "Hey," she said cautiously, as if expecting me to ask for money or help with something I'd messed up. I don't blame her. That used to be our dynamic. I asked if she had given someone my info. She said no. I told her what happened. She was quiet for a while before asking, "Were you dreaming?" "No, he was real." "Did you call the police?" "No." "Daniel!" I cut her off. "I'm fine. I just wanted to check." But I wasn't fine. I kept replaying his words, "Someone who's trying to save your life." The rest of the day blurred by, but by evening, something happened that pushed everything into motion. I got another text from the same unknown number. "You weren't supposed to wake up last night." I felt the room tilt. My breathing got shallow. I typed back, "Who is this?" No response. Seconds later, a photo came through. Grainy, taken from somewhere dark. It showed me lying in my bed, asleep. Same blanket, same position, taken from inside my room. I dropped the phone. My chest felt like it was caving in. Someone had been in my apartment. Someone had stood there, watching me sleep. I tore apart my entire place, looking for signs of a break-in. Nothing. Doors locked. Windows untouched. No smudges. No footprints. Nothing. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I went to the building manager and demanded security footage. He was reluctant, but eventually let me see it. We rewound to 3 a.m. At 3:14, someone approached my door. The man. I watched closely, waiting to see how he'd filmed me, waiting to see someone break into my apartment. But he never did. He knocked. He waited. He pulled out a phone, looked at it, then put it away. Then he left. My stomach dropped. That meant whoever took the photo inside my room wasn't him. The building manager looked confused. "Is that who you're worried about?" he asked. I nodded. "Well, he wasn't alone," he said. He rewound again and pointed at the far corner of the hallway. A shadow. A shape. Someone standing perfectly still, just outside the main camera's view. The figure didn't move at all. Not even when the man knocked on my door. Not even after he left. It was as if they were watching both of us. "Who is that?" I whispered. The manager shook his head. "I've never seen them before, and they never exited through the cameras." I felt cold all over. That afternoon, my sister called me. "I've been thinking," she said, "about what you told me." I expected her to tell me I was being paranoid. Instead, she asked, "Did the man look familiar at all?" I paused. His face had bothered me. Something about it felt off. Not recognizable, but like I had seen a version of it before. "Maybe," I said. "Why?" "Can you meet me tonight? I need to show you something." We agreed to meet at a diner we used to go to as kids. She arrived looking tired, holding a folder. Without saying a word, she slid a photograph across the table. It was a picture of our father. I felt my throat tighten. He had died when I was 17. A heart attack out of nowhere. The man at my door didn't look exactly like him, but the resemblance was there. The eyes, the jaw, the way he held himself. "That's not him," I said. The man was older. "So would Dad be," she replied softly. I pushed the photo back. It wasn't him. She sighed, rubbed her forehead. "That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's something going on with you, Daniel. You've been struggling since Mom died. You're not sleeping. You're isolating. I think you're—" "Don't say it," I muttered. "Seeing things," she finished. I stood up. "Thank you for wasting my time." As I walked out, she called after me. "You need help, please." I didn't look back. That night, I stared at my ceiling for hours, until exhaustion finally dragged me under. And then I woke up to the sound of someone whispering my name. I shot up. My room was dark, but I heard breathing. Slow, steady breathing from the corner behind my desk. My voice shook. "Who's there?" A familiar voice answered. "You shouldn't have pushed her away." The man stepped into the faint moonlight. The same man from the hallway. His eyes looked even heavier. "Get out," I managed to say. "I'm not here to hurt you," he whispered. I'm here because you're running out of time. I threw on the lamp. The sudden light flooded the room. But the man was gone. No footsteps, no door opening, nothing. I stumbled backward, heart hammering. I was awake. I was awake. I knew I was awake. I grabbed my phone. Another message. This is your last chance to listen. Attached to it was an audio file. I hesitated, then pressed play. It was my sister's voice, crying, saying my name, repeating it over and over, and in the background, a faint male whisper, "Save him before he breaks." I felt my stomach drop. I called her immediately. No answer. Another call. Voicemail. I left my apartment, drove to her place in a panic. Her car was in the driveway. Her lights were off. I knocked. No response. The door was unlocked. Inside, the living room looked normal except for one thing. A photo of us as kids lying face down on the floor. Not dropped. Placed. I called out for her, searching every room, every closet. Nothing. In her office, her computer was on. A document was open, filled with notes. Notes about me, about my behavior, my routines, my habits. Words like dissociation and hallucinations repeated over and over. I felt dizzy. Then I noticed a line at the bottom of the document. If he won't accept help, I'll have to call him. The word him was highlighted. Before I could scroll, I heard a sound behind me. Breathing. I turned. The man stood in the doorway. Not threatening. Not angry. Just sad. She tried to help you, he said quietly. Where is she? I demanded. He didn't answer. Something in me snapped. I rushed toward him, shouting, grabbing at his jacket, but my hands went straight through him like smoke. I stumbled onto the floor, gasping. He knelt beside me. You have to wake up, he whispered. I am awake. No, he said softly. Not yet. Everything began to blur. The room stretched and warped like melted plastic. Colors dimmed, sound muffled. I felt myself falling inward, like sinking through my own skull. And then I woke up. But this time, not in my bed. I was in a hospital room. Bright, sterile, humming with distant machines. A woman in scrubs walked in and froze. Daniel? You're conscious? I blinked rapidly. My throat felt dry. Where am I? She stepped closer, cautious. You've been here for 3 days. You were found in your apartment. Severe exhaustion, dehydration, stress-induced collapse. My mind swirled. My sister. Where is she? The nurse looked confused. Your sister visited yesterday. I sat up. She's okay? She's fine, the nurse said gently. Very worried about you. I opened my mouth to ask about the man, but a movement in the hallway caught my eye. A figure, walking past the door. Him, the man. The nurse followed my gaze. Are you all right? I stared at the empty hallway. Do you see him? See who? She asked. I closed my eyes. My breathing eased. For the first time in days, I felt stable, grounded. Maybe it had all been a hallucination. Stress can do that. Trauma can do that. Maybe the man never existed. Maybe my mind invented him because I needed something, someone, to push me toward help. But as the nurse wheeled in my lunch tray, my phone buzzed. A notification. One new message. Unknown number. I opened it. A single sentence. I didn't save you in time. I looked up slowly. And in the reflection of the window next to my bed, I saw him standing behind me. Tired eyes, dark jacket, staring with the same expression as the first night. Except this time, he wasn't sad. He was terrified.